It's a great day to be alive, where we can just take a deep breath and talk about whatever we want to talk about. I'm your host, Lanoria, and today we're going to talk about heart health. Heart health, guys. And I have Ushica with me, my wonderful guest. Welcome.
Thank you.
And I can't just say, I got to introduce her the right way, guys. Let me introduce Ushica the right way. She's a wife, a mom, and she has lots of impressive credentials, such as BSEHS, that's Bachelor's of Science in Exercise Health Science, BSN, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, RN, Registered Nurse, AMB-BC, Ambulatory Care Nurse, Board Certified, and she's a nurse educator.
Yes.
It is such an honor to have you on the Rumble and Roar podcast.
Thank you.
Ushica, I can remember when I first met you, and I think all of this was just starting.
Yes.
And look at you now.
Yes.
When I tell you guys, there is a lot of people that I absolutely don't want in my circle. You live over there, I live over here, and we're going to make this world a really good place. And then there is a small itsy bitsy part of this world that I would allow people to, be with me,
Yes.
And you are somebody that I am so glad that you're in my circle with the power. And I'm going to call it power because knowledge is power.
Yes.
And the knowledge that you have, the power that you have, knowledge power, that's what I'm going to call it because that's what it is. I am glad you're in my circle. Thank you again.
Thank you.
If you've ever seen any of my shows, I dive right in. And a lot of this is going to be about, your journey and what you've done and how it is, and maybe to help someone who wants to come into the medical field or whatever, and then we'll get into asking other little stuff about the heart and everything. I just know that you got all the answers. I'm excited, guys. Okay, your title is incredibly impressive. For our listeners, can you walk us through that journey? What inspired you to not only become a nurse, but also to pursue these specific advanced credentials in ambulatory? I'm not pronouncing it right, and I said it right earlier.
Yes.
Ambulatory care and education.
So thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. And I really do appreciate being part of your circle. It means a lot. And so for your listeners to understand that it's been over since 2013.
Yes.
That we have entered into each other's lives. So it's a beautiful thing.
It is.
But to answer your question, as a nurse, it was not an easy journey. I come from a family of one parent household, and knowing that I needed to better the situation that I was in. Not that it was terrible, but I wanted more for myself. And knowing that, I saw how if you went to school, you got an education. Some people still came back home. I didn't want that. And once I found my avenue of where I wanted to go, I've always wanted to do nursing from the time I was 7 years old that I can remember. Nursing was always my path. And so when I saw the opportunity to take it, I decided to go to nursing. But it wasn't easy. Sometimes you have setbacks. And when I saw that I was having a setback, I went into Bachelor of Science of Exercise Health Science. And I received my degree there, educating, people on how to better themselves, how to eat right, eat healthy, how to, weigh themselves, what to do for exercise, those type of things. So I even traveled. I had a good time with that, running with that. I traveled with that first degree. And then not long after that, I was working. I resumed work, and that's how I met Miss Lanoria here, and I needed someone to watch my child, because I was like, this is where I'm going, and then I said, you know what, nursing is still my heart. I cannot continue working, even though I enjoy what I'm doing at this moment, but nursing is still my heart. And within a year or so, I went back into school in nursing, and I decided to complete my nursing degree. And then this journey has been a beautiful thing, because not only have I been able to, go into a workplace and become a nurse, but I've also been able to educate the community, educate those, whether it's at a church function, or educate those whether it's at a college. So just trying to, especially in Black communities or African American communities, trying to educate them on how to take care of themselves, how to take care of their diabetes and their blood pressure, hypertension, the things that attack the Black communities the most. And so, so that's been my drive to educate those who just don't understand why or how they have the diagnoses, or how to help themselves. Not only taking medication, but how to help yourself is very important.
This is definitely a passion for you, because when I tell you, you remind me of Whitney Houston. She's natural. The reason, meaning she's a crackerjack. Back in the day when you call somebody really, really good about something, or good with it, they're crackerjack. She could sing. She was a crackerjack.
Yes.
You love nursing.
Yes.
You breathe it. Like you said, and this was 2 years old. Not 2 years. Seven
7 years old.
I was 7 years old.
Because I knew I wanted to be a nurse.
Well, it shows with all of the credentials that you have. I'm so proud of you. And y'all, don't get bored with me saying I'm proud. You got to know I'm seriously proud. I'm so proud. Because I remember when you first started, and to be where you are now. Oh, I'm not her mother, but I'm seriously proud, y'all. Okay. We often hear about the hospital settings, but your expertise in ambulatory care, okay? What drew you to this specific area of nursing, and what do you love most about it?
So this was not a walk that I chose. This was something that was chosen for me in a sense.
The ambulatory
care, yes.
Oh, tell us about it.
So after nursing, I worked in telemetry, which is for heart patients in a hospital. And then I transferred over into an ICU setting, then into a cardiac critical care setting, which was cardiac ICU. And then from there, I went from cardiac observation area. So my entire nursing career, I've worked with patients who have heart disease. And so this is something that I've been doing. And then prior to, unfortunately, we have to talk about COVID. But prior to COVID, I was trying to transition out of the 12-hour shifts into a normal, what we call normal Monday through Friday.
Right.
And so I was like, so I can get the kids.
So you were having to work through the weekends and any time on call?
Like different times, just, really.
With the family.
With the family. So it was tough. So I was like weighing my options, and it just so happened that outpatient cardiology was available at the time. And so I took it, and so that's how I ended up in this role, but I actually enjoy it.
When you say you took it, so you can go from one area to the other as long as you have to go to school for it, right?
So as you have to have the experience, right?
Gotcha.
So one thing I love about nursing, if anyone is considering nursing, you are a nurse, and that's something that no one can take away from you.
Oh, that's one of my questions. Go ahead, girl.
You are a nurse, and with those credentials, having been a registered nurse, you may move from the telemetry floor to an ICU floor. You can work with adults. You can work with children. You can move, and don't let anyone tell you that you are not, you can't. So
Or not qualified.
Okay. You can learn. There's certifications out there. Most employers do offer free certifications. So, always look for those free certifications. But if you are a registered nurse, you can move. Sometimes it's not as easy, but you can move into different departments and ensure that if this department isn't working for you, you can always move into a different department to ensure that you're comfortable where you are and you're able to learn and grow in that environment.
That's valuable. That's really good, because I'm sure a lot of people probably don't know that. And once they get it, the nurses, once they get somewhere, they probably think that they're stuck.
And you're never stuck. You're never stuck.
You just heard that. Okay, as a black woman in a field where we still underrepresented, especially in advanced and specialized roles, who were your mentors who inspired you along the way? Was it challenging to find people who look like you in these positions?
That's a good question because one, when I was in a different role in the hospital, I was told when I got out of nursing school that I couldn't go into the ICU. I had to start in telemetry or med surge. A med surge is like, for some that don't understand, it's a medical surgical floor, and there's a lot of work, and they tell you, oh no, right, you can't go into that department.
And why?
And they say you need more experience.
Gotcha.
However, when I finished school, and this is, what I've witnessed, and I'm pretty sure some other nurses have witnessed, that there are some younger women who are not black or African American that immediately after they get out of school, they go straight to the ICU. And when I learned that was the case, I fought hard, and I studied. I didn't just walk in and say, I deserve this area, or I deserve to be here. But, as anything else, we have to prove ourselves, not only amongst ourselves, but we have to prove ourselves to others to let them know that we are here, we stand firm, and we know what we're doing.
And it has to be the best. It can't even be mediocre or a little bit. We can have, guys, y'all know this is not a different song. This is the same song that is in everything that we do as our people.
Right.
And I don't want to bring it, I'm going to bring it back, but it's always that we can have the same credentials, the same everything, and someone else will get it before us. So in order for us to have anything, we have to go over and beyond of whatever it is, and it's just not. It's so sad sometimes.
It is, but I fought and I made sure that I knew where I was going. I knew what I wanted, and I ensured that I understood what I was doing, and I made it happen.
Oh, your mother must be really proud. Your mother has to be proud of you.
Yes.
Because that's so good. That's so good. And I know you're instilling this same get up and go for what you know and what you want in your own children.
Of course.
Oh, I know it. I know it. Okay, what does a day in the life of an ambulatory care nurse look like? How is it different from common perceptions of nurses?
So it's good. Yeah. So there is a huge difference.
Huge.
So when I came into ambulatory care, I had to slow down because I was so used to constant movement where I came from.
Wait a minute. You had to slow down going into ambulatory care?
Yes.
Because you would think the ambulatory care is faster because it's 911. You got to get out there and
so ambulatory care. So let me just ambulatory care.
I don't know the difference.
Basically, it's for patients who come into a clinic. So they come into the clinic, they are triaged in the clinic, and they see their providers, their cardiologists.
So it has nothing to do with the ambulance.
No, ma'am.
Lord, see, she got to tell us. She got to tell me because I didn't know the difference.
So ambulatory care is when they are when they come into a clinic to see a heart doctor. So my role as an ambulatory care nurse is to sometimes triage these patients because we try to prevent them to going into the hospital for every little thing because our hospitals are being taxed with patients using them as primary care offices instead of going to see their doctors. So we try to prevent them from going to the hospital. So if they call into the clinic and they're having symptoms, which we'll go over some of those today, when they're having symptoms, I just say, hey, no, let's try this. Let me reach out to the doctor and see if they're okay with you changing your medications, or let's change the time of day you're taking your medication, or what did you have for dinner. So sometimes we can figure out what's going on with them and not have them go to the emergency room. Sometimes we can help them treat themselves at home before they have to go to the emergency room.
How do you remember all of this stuff, Ushica? That's a lot to remember. And you're just helping everyone. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're in this world because we need people like you. But just what you just told me right there, that's a lot.
It is.
To remember.
Yes. And over time, just over time of, we gaining knowledge. And another thing that's critical is always educating yourself and going to different education seminars that will help you, keep your tools together, because you never know when you'll need them or there will be a challenge of a patient that you're like, oh yeah, I remember this. So always stay educated. Don't just just.
But it stuck with you. The things that you learn, as so many things that you learn, it stuck with you. And some people, I'm gonna speak for myself. If I'm doing a whole bunch of different ones, it's like, okay, one of them I'm gonna lax because I can't remember. But yours, you remember it all, and because this is your calling. It's your calling, girl. It is your calling. Ooh, goosebumps when you talk. I'm just so happy you're here. Okay, the educator part of your wait a minute. Slow it down. I just want to get these out. The educator part of your title is so important. We know that. You're not just caring for patients, like I just said. You're teaching the next generation of nurses. What is the most important lesson you try to impart to your students? What do you?
So, to impart to the students, it's a good question, because a lot of times going into nursing can be very difficult for some. But one thing I always say, take care of yourself first. If you cannot take care of yourself first, it's going to be hard to take care of others.
If you're not good, how can you make someone else good? You're not even 100% there.
Right.
So that's really good.
And so once you're finished schooling, once you enter the program, enter the nursing world, take care of yourself first. And don't think that you have to work 2 jobs to make life for yourself. Live within your means and enjoy life. And then once you do that, you will be able to happily and peacefully care for the patients that you speak to on a daily basis.
Do you get burned out quick in this field? Because I know my niece, Andrea Rutherford, she's in the surgery. She gives out, I don't know what's she probably, but you have to give out the tools.
Surgical tools.
Okay. And sometimes I can call her on the weekend. She's like, Auntie, I'm getting ready to go in. They call me in, or whatever.
Right.
And you have to be on call. Yes. And you were like that at first, right?
I was on call, but so on certain things, or needing extra help, like it was constant of the floor is short, if you will, and we need extra nurses, that type of thing.
So when does that stop, ever, or no?
I'm hoping now with the way things are going in nursing, it will change.
It's getting better?
I would like to believe so. I haven't been I haven't been in the hospital setting in almost 6 years now. So, but from what I speak to some of my colleagues, they are, saying how, believe it or not, AI is helping with a lot of ways.
Oh, Lord. AI is taking over.
It's taking over, but I think it assists. It's good at assisting, like, especially with the new nurses may not remember everything because, right? So there's been a shift in nursing from my perspective, as in the pre-COVID nurses and after COVID nurses. So a lot of our young nurses were thrown in to nursing during COVID.
I thought it was going to be the attitude of them
there's a lackadaisical attitude from what I hear.
Yes.
But there's those, they were pushed into it, and so I don't think the transition for them was a good thing, because they were thrown into it and it was like, okay, I don't know if this is really for me. Or, I'm not going to do like those old nurses did. I'm not going to work myself to the bone. So nursing is shifting in that sense. But also there's the AI that's helping them, because a lot of times remembering formulas and remembering drips and titrations, a lot of the newer nurses just for some reason does not stick, or they don't remember just the whole writing.
You are so right. You know why? I'm not going to call the hospital that I went to, even though it's a very good one. I remember going and I said it to them. I said, Dag, everybody that came in here, the vital sign nurse, the doctor, everybody is so young. Y'all are babies. And she was over there. She was, inputting the information. And then I saw her pull a card out. So it was probably some notes that she jotted down that she was trying to refresh her memories and do whatever. But you were so right.
So a lot.
So
of
that's
times,
why you think AI is good.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be helpful.
It'd be helpful.
It would be
Okay.
helpful. Yes.
It's taking over. Okay, ambulatory care often involves managing patients' health outside of the hospital walls. What are some of the biggest challenges and the rewards of helping patients manage their health in their everyday lives?
So there are many facets to that. There are those who see their doctor consistently when they're scheduled.
Okay.
And then there's some that come only when they need medication.
Or crazy sick, like men.
Right.
Men don't ever go to the doctor.
They do not. Yes, exactly.
What's up with that?
Or they feel like, okay, I'm about to die now. I have to definitely go in.
You're
right?
forced. You're forced.
Right? So in that sense, I have to deal with everyone differently. But men, I talk to you just like you were my brother or my dad.
Yes.
And I tell you, if you don't get this blood pressure under control, you will be seeing a urologist soon, because that third leg will stop working.
Ooh.
So you have to take care of yourself. Don't wait till you're sick.
And I bet you, pardon me, I bet you when you said that third leg is going to stop working, I bet you that get their attention real.
Yes.
It's like, so where do I need to go?
Exactly.
Okay.
Especially to my younger guys, like they understand that much better than me telling them take your medication.
Yes.
So or stop eating out so much.
Is there anything in the studies that you've studied that tells why a man will not go to the doctor? What is happening in their brain? Because I know it can't be from when they're kids or birth, because I tell my son, I was taking him to the doctor regularly, getting their yearly checkups and everything that need to be done. And when he got to be able to be out there on his own and do it for himself, I said, look, you gotta, get your physical, make sure everything is going on with you. Don't wait until it's too late. And he does just like his father. I'm good. Have there been anything in your studies to say why a man, because me, I can have the sniffles too much. If it's over 3 days, I'm in somebody's office because I want to get it right away.
Right.
What makes them do that?
I have no idea. And as far as my research studies, I'm actually studying that now because I'm working on a paper for Black men and diabetes and them not, basically getting help. So I'm working on that.
Okay.
But it's almost like them not asking for directions.
They would rather be lost. Oh, we're not lost.
Yes.
We are. Where are we? Oh, I'll just keep going. I'm sure I'll find out where we are. Something that'll look familiar in a minute. You're going to be dead in a minute.
Yeah, so I'm not sure as to why men, whether you're Black, white, or other, it's men in general will not.
And it's not just happening now. This was way back.
Right.
This happened. It's been going on a long time.
So we don't know what's in their mindset as to why they don't want to go.
Well, when you learn that one, please let me know, because I need to tell my husband, or even just wonder, try to understand him.
Right.
And especially now that he's older, it's like, come on now. We're older. We have to do it more so than anyone anyway. I'm going to say seasoned, not older. We're all older. Okay, if you could speak directly to a young Black girl considering a career in nursing or healthcare, what would you tell her? What does she need to bring to that field?
Stay grounded. Know your worth. If you want to come into nursing, just know that you are not alone in nursing. There are a lot of Black female mentors, whether they're physicians or nurses, that will help guide your way. Like if you know that this is the way you want to go into the healthcare field, don't think that you're alone. Find someone that within your department, or if you're still in school, find someone that's in your school and just ask them how they did it.
This is a field, is it scary to go into? Or it's a field that it has to be a passion, because it ain't nothing you can just say, well, let me learn this. And this is just my opinion. I'm asking, this is a question.
Right, yes. The answer to that question too is that we are, you as a nurse, I see nurses who are nursing for the money.
Oh, shit.
It's not.
Please don't be in it for the money coming up to me, because I need you to know what you're doing.
So you see those who are in it for the money. You see those who are in it who truly enjoy what they're doing. So some people just that my mom made me do, or my parents made me.
So wait, and I'm not trying to cut you off. Hold that thought, baby. I got to ask you before I forget. So if you guys see someone in it just for the money, because I'm sure they move different.
Mm-hmm, they do.
They probably move different. If they move different, would y'all allow them to stay there, or could you every now and again see something that while they're and when I say move different, guys, I mean someone like Ushica come in there and give you vital signs or do whatever to you. You can see the love and the concern and trying to get you better. Mm-hmm. Somebody in there for the money is like, look, pull your arm out. Mm-hmm. Not smiling, not really caring, don't want to do a whole bunch of small talk. I'm just trying to get this so I can get on to the next one. So it's time to get off work. What do you do to the ones that are like that? Do you leave them there because you're short staffed, or you don't have many nurses, or do you write them up if they get complaint, when they probably will if it's coming from me, because you don't do me right, I'm gonna complain. Right. Because I pay insurance, so I need you to do me right. Mm-hmm. Do y'all write them up, and then after a couple of write-ups get rid of them because they don't need to be there? Because I really need to be loved when I go into I'm serious.
Any type of health care.
And don't let me take my baby into there and you're not sensitive, or you're not acting like my baby matters, because it ain't your baby, and you're in for it for the money. I'm gonna show you a whole different. No, you got to do right. Right. I don't look. You can tell my whole thing on chest.
Yes. So and so there's twofold. So I understand the nurses who are in it for the money. Yes. Not all of them have the attitude. I would say that. Okay. They're there to get the job done. They go on with their life. Okay. But there's those, and I'm not making excuses for nurses. But there's times where they are like extremely overworked and tired, and they're done, for mentally drained and mentally done.
And they're a rude customer. Patients.
Mm-hmm. And so, and there, so there's those nurses who are just like, I just want to get this over with. And sometimes they don't realize the message that they're relaying to the patient, that I don't want to be here. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to get this over and go. So
I needed that. I needed that. And I hope that whoever's listening, and you got a nurse that is like, okay, she's been there, and you don't even know how long she's been there. Mm-hmm. She's probably just not even aware of what she's doing. Right. So okay, now I'm going to be nicer to them.
So in situations like that, as a patient, say, hey, how are you doing today? Like, just stop, break the ice. Is everything okay with you? Sometimes just a patient asking you that will help you reset.
Thank you.
Sometimes it will help you reset and say, okay, you know what? I hope you have a better shift. Even to those who may not even receive you at that moment, I acknowledge the fact that you're tired, or you're not wanting to be here at this moment. But I want you to know that I'm here as a patient.
I'm going to be honest. I have done some of them. I've snapped only because, and the first thing I'll say is, somebody else want your job. Please don't act like this. And understand that when I came in this door, it was an emergency, so my mind isn't right either. We're both, you might be tired, I might be tired, but I'm gonna need you to do what you're supposed to do. Do your part, I'm gonna do my part. I don't wanna be mean, but I am in distress right now. My child, so get your life or get out. I go off, Ushica, I go off.
Trust me, and a lot of times, when I was in the situation, because I worked with patients who were not able to communicate, say what's wrong with them or anything, because they were sedated most of the time. But the family members, I can understand the frustration. Yes. So a lot of times it's not, being rude to the nurse is not always a personal thing. Sometimes it's just, I can walk in and say, hey, how are you doing? What's going on with my mom? Like, why's my mom in this
but see, they came in there on 10 because something's going on.
You have to understand that. As a nurse, I have to accept that.
That should be in the schooling part of it, isn't it?
Of course.
Diffusing your customers, your patients, diffuse them, because you have to be compassionate. You got to know, because I've ran, not a lot, but the ones that I did run into, it was not a good day for them, because you ain't not going to do that to me, and definitely not my children.
Yeah, definitely not my children. And I understand. So as a nurse, yes, being compassionate is definitely something that we, try to ensure that patient is safe, patient is comfortable. And it makes the job easier when your patient is not complaining about, simple things, every little things. And then it's easier for the nurse to just do their job and say, okay, I make sure that I make sure that you have your pillow, you have your medication, you have everything else. And excuse me, being a night shift nurse, excuse me. I'm thinking, excuse me, being a night shift nurse, I would make sure that the patient is comfortable before they go to sleep, because we are going to come in and make sure that you're still alert and oriented and things of that nature throughout the night. But I will make sure that you are comfortable before I leave the room. So sometimes you have to follow, just do like little steps, little things to ensure that the patient is okay.
You know what? This is not on my cards, but I wanted. How do you saying that to me? I'm thinking, what about you? What about those days when you've had not just a bad day at work, but what if? Well, I know if you're not feeling well, you don't come to work. But what if? Things are not going home. She's a human being.
Yes.
What if things are not going on good at home?
Right.
Or your child is going through something, and how do you handle that? Going into having to help somebody else with their daggone trauma and how do you do that? Very careful.
Yeah, so I always say, my grandmother always said, leave your crap at the door. And having that on-off switch for me has always been easy. I can be tearing apart inside, but you would not see it. I will go into work and do what I need to do, and I would deal with whatever it is when I walk back out the door. So for me, I know it's not easy for a lot of people.
This is a given for you.
And I've worked with a lot of females, and I can tell. I can tell when life is not good at home.
Or they're PMSing.
They're PMSing.
It's like something is you're right. Not yourself. You were not like this last week. I'm
exactly.
sorry.
So I can pick up on it, and but for me, I try not to bring my trouble into any workspace, so I can be the best person I need to be at that moment and present.
That's so good.
So, but once I leave, I deal with whatever I need to deal with, and so thankfully, in this moment in my life, I don't have that much of a leaving at the door type situation. I can go into work 100%. I can go home and still be 100%. So it is a beautiful thing.
That is a beautiful thing. Oh my gosh, work and home, and they're balanced. I think everybody wants that.
Yes.
Everybody does. Okay, looking at future nursing, what changes are you're most hopeful for? And on the flip side, what is one systemic challenge you believe in urgently needed to support nurses, particularly nurses of color? Did that make sense? It did?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll answer the last part of that question.
Okay.
What's urgently needed is allowing the middle school, I say don't start at high school, allow middle schoolers to be introduced into the healthcare field, allowing them to see what options there are, giving them summer programs or certifications coming out of middle school into high school to where they can enroll. There's a program.
So they don't have anything like that yet?
Not right now.
Oh my, that's a good idea.
So in high school, they have Health Occupation Students of America, which I am so proud to have been a part of in my high school days, also known as HOSA, that help filter kids into the medical field. I think come 7th and 8th grade, I think by then you should start filtering children in that direction. And unfortunately, the monies aren't there, or the education system isn't quite there to be able to allow
Go ahead,
for that.
and you feel that way because you knew at 7 you had it in you and you wanted to do it.
Right.
And just think if that was for you, if somebody was, getting you ready for it at that time.
At that time,
Ooh.
yes. So, and having, different settings where they can experience the medical field.
Right.
So filtering kids towards the medical field, it will be one thing. Also, once they get into a program, having funds available for them to get a certification, or even or to help them fund their education once they get there. Because one of the things that people don't realize, going to college is not frugal. It's a very expensive path.
Yes.
Okay.
My daughter is medical.
It's a very expensive path. And for those who have homes where education is not on the forefront, it makes it difficult for them to even know where to begin, or how do I even go to college? So I recommend any high school students you have counselors. Ask them, how do I get into the medical field? Are there any programs within the county, the state, or locally at the high school that I can be involved in that will help me on my career journey? And another thing is, as far as the African American or Black community that want to go into nursing, find a mentor. I urge you find a mentor. I urge you to find a mentor, because someone that can help hold your hand and walk you through getting through the doors. Once you're in the door, even keeping that mentorship will allow you to find where you're going
And answer those questions.
Of how do I get into the NICU for the neonatal ICU, or how do I work with babies? And the opportunities are there, and I think a lot of times now, we're not just now, but a lot of times we're told no so much that one day we just start accepting the no's. If someone tell you no, just tell yourself there's a yes around the corner. You're going to keep working towards where you're trying to go. So whether it be a flight nurse. Flight nurses are good. Those who get on airplanes or helicopters. So if you want to be a flight nurse, just start working towards it. It may not be tomorrow, but just find ways to start working towards becoming that flight nurse.
No's, yes, there will be a lot of no's. But with me, every time you tell me no, it just gives me strength. Because I don't like to be told no. I can accept no, and I can accept constructive criticism. Don't get me wrong. But when I know it's something I want, you can say no all day, every day, but I'm going to still get it. It might not be with you, but I'm going to still get it.
Right. Exactly.
That's what you were saying. Yes.
So just always find
another
venue.
Okay. With all you've accomplished, what are you most proud of? Is it particularly professional achievement, the students that you mentored, or the impact of the patients you work with every day?
I would say the students that I mentored, I truly enjoy that. Give me more, so I can talk to them and tell them, guide them through the nursing processes. Just don't forget your basics. And just, guiding them to show them, okay, this is what you're doing now while you're in school. Just don't close the door on what you could do once you're completed with school. So
you're most proud of that.
But I'm also very proud of educating our community. I do work in a predominantly Black area. The population is predominantly Black, and to educate them and to understand them. The reason why they eat the foods that they eat, because mama ate it, and everyone else bring it to the party, and I'm going to eat it. And let me show you how to go to a party and not eat the foods that you shouldn't have. Just let's pick around the things. If you're going to have chicken wings, maybe only take 3, and then find your fruits, find your vegetables, So in the Black community, a lot of times we eat things not really thinking about what we're eating. And so one of the things that I truly enjoy is, yes, if it look good, it tastes good, it must be good, right? But, in the Black community, just teaching even some of the older patients, the elderly patients, teaching them, what is salt. Where is salt located?
That was going to be one of my later about the salt, because there are some hidden salts. Okay.
Yeah, so educating our communities to do better for themselves is one of the things I truly enjoy.
Yeah. particular professional achievements. Okay, so these questions here are going to be pretty much what you've already been talking about. I just love talking to you. You were teaching me. Okay, understanding the heart disease, the heart disease of it. What are common risks of heart disease?
Heart disease, yes. So good question. So heart disease for a lot of patients, and especially in our community, could be from heredity. Could be hereditary, like having hypertension, having elevated cholesterol. Hypertension meaning like your blood pressure is consistently elevated. Having elevated cholesterol levels, like lots of fat in your body.
Yes.
Having elevated blood sugar, and people don't realize that having the elevated blood sugar also causes problems with your heart. So it is a systemic approach to ensuring that you are taking care of yourself, to ensure that your heart is healthy.
All the time.
All the time. So it's not just, there are steps to it.
What do you recommend people eat to make them have a good heart? What are good foods?
Good foods. So I'm not saying take everything away.
Right.
So everything is, and of course
we know fatty stuff, fried stuff is not good.
It's not good, but in moderation.
Moderations.
So like if I am going to, let's say for instance, I'm on the road, and there's only like Popeye, I can't say that right. There's only like a fried chicken location, or there's just a fast food thing that's available. I know if I eat this fast food now, I know for dinner I need to find something that is not fried. Yes. So just like I said, everything in moderation. Just keep a tab on what you're eating throughout the day to prevent you from eating fried food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
That is good. Okay. Processed food. My dad always said, because my husband loves bologna. He loves that processed stuff. And my dad is like, don't eat that. And so I definitely eat it in moderations. I mean, like few far in between will you see me eating a sandwich, and if it is, it's turkey. However, he said, that stuff will give you gout. I had never heard of gout. I didn't know anything about gout, but he was like, no, gout is very painful. It makes your legs swell really big, and it's for all that
nitrates.
Yeah, and hidden salt and stuff into it. So processed food is not good.
Processed foods are not good. So I always tell my patients, when you go grocery shopping, try to keep yourself on the outside where the fresh fruits and vegetables are, where the fresh produce, where the fresh, dairy and things of that nature. So try to shop the outsides before you go in those middle aisles, because in those middle aisles is where a lot of your sodium comes from.
I don't go in the middle aisles. I'm just playing. I'm like, oh my gosh, really? So the outside, you go to the outside ones and not the in there. How did you know that?
Over time, just if you go through your grocery store, your layout is pretty much the same no matter where you go. Your deli, your fresh fruits and vegetables, like your meats and things of that nature. So just try to decrease the amount of items that you're getting from that middle section. Okay. What is a good healthy technique that you would recommend for cooking? Cooking?
Yes.
So cooking, you can do like your olive oils and your coconut oil, your peanut oil. People are very skeptical about coconut oil because it still hardens when it's at room temperature or cool. But then there's your
it do the same thing in your body, right?
So that's what. So like from the fat to the butter, like you said, it does the same thing in your body. But there's a group of people that states that coconut oil actually is good for you and not not a bad thing. So I'm on the side of coconut oil is good for you but don't take my word for it. Do your own research. But olive oil and just those. Try to stay away from seed oils like your sesame seed oil. Your that's the other one that's really good, right? That's going. So try to stay away from the oils like seeded oils and cooking with them, because there are more studies coming out that they're really not as good for us as we initially thought. So the seed oils are not good. But as far as cooking, make sure you're eating more foods that have like baking instead of frying. Yes. And there's I'm a air fryer foodie. But now there's things coming out saying that air fryers are not the greatest.
It's always something
It's always
to
something
change
to change
it. Yeah.
So, turn the oven back on.
Okay.
Turn
Or the grill.
The grill.
Uh-huh.
Turn the oven back on. Turn the grill. They cook on top of the stove. But yes, try to fry less and use less oils if possible.
Okay. Because I know olive oil is good. I put that on my salads. Okay. What is a good physical activity that you could do daily, that is really good for the heart, that'll keep...
Right. So aerobic exercises are good. Right now we recommend that you do 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. And that's just for maintenance. That's not for weight loss. That's just for strictly
keeping that heart
moving.
Yes,
your heart
okay.
is a muscle, and a lot of times people don't realize that, but your heart itself is a muscle. So just like with any other muscle, if you don't work on it, it's gonna atrophy. It's gonna get weak. Exactly.
Yes.
So 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, and if you could do more, great. And so even the other day I was like trying to, and this is not just like a walk I walk for work. A lot of people will say that to me. I walk for work all the time, but that's not intentional walking. So you want to be on a brisk walk for at least 30 minutes a day.
To make the heart rate go up.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So if your walk every day is just, it will work, that's still not considered.
Because you're not really walking fast when you're walking around the parking lot when you're at work. Yeah.
So.
Okay. So this one here, I just went on a keto diet. It was the end of November. I think I have a podcast on it. I was so excited and so happy. I got down to where the weight that I wanted to get to, and I ate very well. I had a trainer and people helped me. Is it good to and I know that it isn't. I'm asking because I know you're going to elaborate and you're going to tell me what I should. Okay. If your weight is it not good when your weight go up and down, up and down, up? What does that do to your heart?
Okay. So I don't know if there are any studies of the fluctuation of weight to your heart. However, when you do diets, that's another thing that we have to really be mindful of. Okay. Because the diet should be transitioning to a lifestyle change. And keto diet, realistically,
no, it really
doesn't.
can't.
It can't transition into a lifestyle change. So
low carbs is good, but the keto itself, the whole diet, you're right, because not having any carbs at all, it will affect you. I'm sure your memory, all kinds of stuff, because
right. So your brain feeds off of sugar, and a lot of people don't know that. Your brain feeds off of sugar. So not having any sugar, which are your carbs, it will cause you to be loopy and tired and cranky. And so you definitely need carbs, but not carbs like your white breads, your white potatoes, flour, things of that nature. Rice, So you want to be more if you're going to do like a sweet potato or your vegetables.
That's what I had last night.
You can have your vegetables that have carbs in them, but you don't have to completely be carbless.
Okay. How do you control your blood pressure?
So controlling blood pressure, there are many ways to control your blood pressure. One is staying away from sodium. Sodium will cause your blood pressure to go up. So sodium is in foods, if they're already prepared foods, they're in cookies, they're in crackers, it's in your...
And you would think they're not in cookies, but because it's sweet, but it is.
So like if you maintain the sodium. So if you have a breakfast option, go for the cooked food versus a honey bun. Honey buns have sodium. I think it's like almost 300 milligrams of sodium if I remember reading a recent label. But honey buns,
I know that
it's full of sodium. So make sure that you're
full of sweet too.
Sweet too. Yeah. So watch your sodium intake. Exercise. Check your, if you already have been diagnosed with hypertension, check your blood pressure. You can go to the fire station, a local fire station department to check your blood pressure.
Very good, yes.
You can go to a local pharmacy that has a blood pressure monitor there if you don't have one. And some insurance.
CVS. I think I saw one in there.
Yes. Any the pharmacies have the blood pressure cuffs machine there. And if your insurance covers blood pressure monitors, ask them, how do I, contact your insurance company, your health insurance company, ask if they cover them. And if so, ask them where the prescription for the monitor can go. And your cardiologist or your primary care doctor can send the prescription for you to get a heart monitor at home. So that's one thing. And then as far as controlling your blood pressure, again, eating healthy, exercising,
yes,
and controlling what you do on a daily basis. Be mindful and present.
Ushica, no lie, I cannot make this up. I went to the doctor for something, I can't remember what it was, but I had forgotten that I had shots of tequila the night before. And you know how you put the salt here, and I'm licking the salt and I'm busting, turning them back. And I went to the doctor, and the lady did my vital signs, and she said, oh my gosh. She said, have you ever had a problem with high blood pressure? Does your mother have it? Is that and the third? And I said, yes, my mother does, but I've never had high blood pressure, and I don't have it now. And I thought about what I did. I said, ma'am, hey, it hasn't even been 24 hours. Late last night, I had some tequila shots, and that's why it's elevated. She was like, no, we got to get this down. I was gonna, get water and stuff and bring, but I kept telling her, no, I don't. She was like, yeah, this is really dangerous. It was really high. And after that, I was like, ooh, now I make sure I don't do try not to before I go to the doctor, because that really showed up crazy.
Yes. That
salt. And I actually don't try to do the salt thing no more if I do it, which I don't drink a whole bunch. I do the wine stuff. But okay, now smoking. And I'm talking about, I'm not talking about just nicotine smoke. I'm talking about weed.
Yes.
I'm talking about that vape thing.
Yes.
I'm talking about any kind of smoke that go down into your lungs that is not supposed to be there.
Right.
What does that do with your heart?
So that's a good question. Smoking itself, once you inhale whatever it is, your smoke of choice, it causes your vessels to constrict, to close up. So every time you smoke or bring that into your lungs, your body responds by constricting your vessels, which causes pressure to go up.
Every puff.
Every time. So when you do that, you're constricting your vessels, causing your pressure to go up, making your heart work harder. Exactly.
Okay, guys, look, please do not throw darts and tomatoes and stuff at this camera. But I know a whole bunch of people who smoke weed. I mean, they can't do without their weed every day. And I try to tell them, just give it a break for a minute. Dag, you're breathing that more than you're breathing the regular air. And I try to tell them, but they look at me like, what do you have in nursing? You don't have no degree. Why are you going to sit here and tell me? But certain things, come on. And I try to tell them, look, just can you give it a break? Because it is doing more harm than good, and they do not care. When I tell you they have more weed in their lungs than they do regular air, and it's like, how long can you go doing that?
Yes, exactly.
And it not put you completely down.
So there are those who say, well,
gotta die from something.
Yeah,
they say crazy stuff like that. I don't be wanting to hear.
So and I'm not an advocate for anyone smoking, and I just ask that you if it's something, because I have read studies that helping people relax or whatever the case may be, but just try to slow it down.
Yes.
Limit yourself, make mental note, again, be present for what you're doing, and ask yourself, is it worth it? Because over time, you're damaging your heart, you're damaging your lungs.
Emphysema.
And so those things work together. If you can't breathe, your heart has to struggle. If your heart is struggling on the right side, your breathing is going to be punished for it. So you have to be mindful of the things that you do, because not only does the smoke play a part, but if you have smoking and you have elevated cholesterol from eating fried foods, and then you have elevated sodium from the fried foods and the outtake. You start to build plaque in your vessels. So like you start to build cholesterol and plaque in the walls of your vessels, decreasing the blood flow.
Jeez.
So if the blood can't flow properly to your heart or to your brain or to your lungs, if there's not adequate blood flow to those who have diabetes, the blood flow can't get to your feet, your toes, you start to lose blood flow. So if I start to add the smoking on top of it and I'm constricting my vessels, you're stopping blood flow sometimes almost completely.
That knowledge right there should scare the it should scare the crap out of people who smoke. And like you said, there are some that really it is needed because it does relax. It helps with some cancer patients to be able to eat. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the one that does it recreational out there and just one after the other. Is there such thing as fasting with the smoking? Fast. Try not to do it every day. Can you take a day off?
Right. So, I think there's a mental health component to that. At the end of the day, like there's something that you're blocking, and I know this is not heart health, but
okay. No, we want to know.
So there's something a lot of times that you're blocking that you don't want to confront. A lot of times
when you smoke it back to back like that.
Sometimes it's just like the safest thing to do at the time.
Yes.
Because you don't want to put yourself out, but you want to numb
You just want it to go away,
yes.
a numbness.
Numbness. So a lot.
But it's going to be there when it goes away. How do you say when you come down? Up, yeah.
So I just say a lot of times patients don't realize that their choices sometimes stem from something that's going on that happened in the past, or you've used this as a coping mechanism versus addressing whatever the issue is. So smoking does that. Binge eating, eating foods of can cause you. But just know that even the stressors of previous like traumatic events can cause you to show up, cause you to have hypertension. So like you didn't address the traumas as a kid, and now you're having this hypertension, and no one in your family has ever had hypertension, but now you're having hypertension because your body is stressed. And even though
the next one I have,
even though you try not to think about it, you're stressed, you're taxing on your body. So mental health plays a role in your diagnoses.
Okay, what if you did damage your? Well, I know smoking has to do with your lungs as well. You damage your lungs, and your heart has been working overtime for years. When you stop, will that? I know it will help. I'm not ignorant, guys. I know it will help. However, you know how what did they say? Your kidneys can rebuild, but your lungs or something can't rebuild. Can your heart rebuild?
So your heart can provide new blood flow avenues. It will naturally try to. So your heart itself has its own vessels that provides blood flow to it. So once the blood, those vessels start to get closed and damaged, they will try to create new vessels to provide oxygen and blood to one area of the heart if it dies. So your heart is a muscle, and so like if there is no blood flow to the heart itself, certain parts of the muscle die, which that's when you start having that chest pain,
heart attack.
And a lot of times people don't realize it, but your heart will try to survive. Your body is
it fights before it gives up.
A wonderful creature, if you want to call it that. So it will try to keep you going. It will try to keep itself going. And so sometimes...
so when it doesn't rebuild another avenue...
That's when you start...
You have to get those stems in there,
stents,
right?
Yes.
What is it called?
Stents.
I said it the wrong way.
It's a stent.
Yes. Okay, stents.
And that's another thing. So once those arteries are full of plaque or cholesterol, they have to go in and stent it or open it up so you can get blood flow to the heart. So knowing that...
Because something happened to those stents?
Not necessarily. Yes, the answer is yes. Something could happen, but typically it doesn't. If you stay on your medication, like
Oh, so you have to be on medication with that stent?
Yes.
Why?
Because you have to thin the blood, and also to keep the blood flow, that it doesn't create pressures while those stents are there. So you want to thin the blood. You want to make sure your cholesterol levels are low, because the higher your cholesterol, the more likely it will still build. And then so that there are these things called drug-eluting stents, and there are stents that it releases medication to keep itself from being cut off or clogged off by medication.
So why the blood has to be thin to go through the stents? Why don't you make them? And I know this might sound funny, but I don't know. I just if they're not big enough. So they must be really, really small.
So your vessels around your heart are very small. Right?
Okay.
So once they go, but also keep in mind, if you are already collecting plaque in your heart, you could be collecting plaque anywhere in your body. So those vessels can be, and if a piece of plaque moves or dislodge from the
it can do that?
Yes. And then your body circulates the blood, like it's a constant circulation. So or if your blood is thick and it's like combining in one location, which they call blood clots, or it can combine, and like say for instance it decides to detach, like you had a blood clot from a long drive or something like that, it can detach, and if it starts flowing, it can cause a heart attack. It causes your aneurysm in your brain. So like you can stop the blood flow. So you want the blood to be thin enough to get around the clot closed.
But my thinking was if with the other stuff in there, that's what makes it really thick and it could not go through. So okay, I got my answer. Okay, I was about to ask something else, but you did answer it. I just had to think about it.
Yes.
Okay. What about you just said this, stress.
It's a silent killer.
And that'll give you, a heart attack, or people, that has a lot to do.
Stress is a silent killer. Stress can cause you to have the diagnoses that really you don't have, but your body is mimicking high blood pressure. So stress, and the more you think about it, your body responds. So you're thinking about it, but your body's physically responding to the stress that's happening. So try, when you have stress that is constantly, like you can't wash dishes or you can't walk upstairs without constantly thinking of something that is bothering you to even sleep. You have to, I recommend that you seek counseling. And a lot of times in our communities, we refuse counseling. But if someone's going to listen to you without judgment, go pay for it. Go, find a resource where you can, if you don't have a family member or someone that you can speak to that you feel will not judge you for how you feel or what's going on with you. Or if there's a life event that you just don't know how to handle, find a resource or an outlet to help you with the stress.
Is that the same? Well, I know it's not the same. Stress is not the same thing as grieving, but can grieving do anything to your heart? I know. Is that stupid?
Yeah, no, it's not. So there's something called a broken heart syndrome, right? So. And I know, I don't know if this is in all communities, but we're like, oh well, when the husband gone, the wife is going to be not far after them, especially if they've been married for a long time. Or if someone passes away, the other person just like really can't function physically, cannot function. So that can happen, and so it does stresses your heart. It does put stress on your heart, and it makes sometimes someone's heart can be weakened. Physically weakened based on the amount of stress or the amount of grieving that they're going through if they're not able to.
Ushica, I asked that question because I'm better now. This year, 2025, is the best year I've had since my mother and father passed in 2020. My heart was experiencing stuff that I had never felt in my life. And it happened on it would happen on Mother's Day and her birthday. You know, but Mother's Day is every single year. I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want nobody to talk to me. It was like a blanket of depression where I could not really do anything. And I was like, why? And my daughter was like, Mom, you're grieving. Yes, I understand that. I do. And I'm not angry because God's plan was definitely perfect. I accepted it, and I thought I was okay. But I can't even explain it to you. You would not believe the hurt that comes. And I was like, whoa, your heart is not even supposed to take this kind of hit. So I got to stop talking about it because I'm going to cry. But so doesn't do it. That's just grieving.
It's grieving.
It has nothing. It won't hurt your heart. It won't.
No, I mean, people grieve differently. But if you started to have like symptoms of like shortness of breath, lightheadedness, dizziness, consistent chest pain, palpitations.
No, I didn't have that.
Things of that nature. Some patients will. There was a patient. Their family member scared them. The grandkids played a hoax on the grandmother. Don't remember the ins and outs, but she ultimately had a broken heart because she thought what they were telling them was true, and it was about one of the grandkids, and it scared her to the point where her heart was like it couldn't handle it anymore. Like she just really, it just wasn't able to handle stress. Like it wasn't able to handle walking or. So
that's how they say when you have a heart attack.
Your heart attack, like a broken
you can't
heart.
You can't take the sort of like you. I don't know. You're young, but have you ever heard of Sanford and Son, Red Fox? When he was like, "Oh, Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna have a heart attack."
Yes.
So that's another one I want to ask. How? I mean, like somebody can just scare you and your heart can't take it. What makes your heart, and I don't want to call it weak, but I'm just wording it the way I know how, guys. What makes your heart weak to not be able to withhold something that's like if you were in a daggone scary house and it's like, boom, something scared you really bad, opposed to someone that you could scare them and they're like, what?
Right. So your body itself responds. So, you know, you have that fight or flight type response. And not only that, your blood pressure, your heart rate goes up to respond to whatever the situation is. So everything is responding. The fat cell, the cortisol has been released, so you can respond. Like everything is going to the muscles.
So all of that just went boom.
Yes. So it's like a burst of we need to help ourselves escape from this situation. And sometimes your body just cannot, your heart cannot take it at that moment.
Oh my. Okay, you did diabetes already. Okay, the fluids and the balance. Okay, labeling and reading all of the stuff could you tell us a little about that?
So labeling.
We're almost done. I know it's long, but okay.
It's okay. Labeling, so reading the back of your labels. If it says that it has 2 servings inside the package, know that whatever that sodium content is twice that amount. So like say for instance, what do you call it? Like a candy bar or something like that has, or a box of chips or a bag of chips. And you see that it says how many servings. So if you have like, let's say 1 serving is 5 chips. But if you sit there and you eat 10 chips, that's 2 servings. So you have to multiply that sodium by each.
And who's
serving.
counting?
Who's counting when
especially when you're eating Lay's potato chips.
Right,
you can't eat just one.
Right, exactly.
Okay?
So when you're eating chips and you know that this serving only allows you 5 chips, and so if you're eating multiple servings, you have to multiply that sodium by however many servings you've eaten.
It's a lot to learn. It's a lot. My last question. Recognizing the warning signs.
Yes.
Soon as you feel, I know palpitations, you 911, not 911, but go to the doctor to get an EKG.
Yes.
As soon as, because my aunt had a heart attack, she thought it was gas. Because some people say it feels like gas. How do you know the difference between that and gas?
Yes.
So you just gotta, I guess, call go to the doctor.
So the interesting thing is women present heart attack differently than men. Some women present differently. So women will have like acid reflux, as they will consider it, or they feel like it's gas, but they can't move, or their right arm will hurt, or the back.
Not the
pain,
left one?
Sometimes their right arm will hurt, or they have extreme back pain. So in those instances, if it's consistent and it's not moving, call your primary care doctor. Start there.
So it could be your right arm, it could be your back, guys, it could be acid reflux, and what else did you say?
So the back, it could be chest, like gas, feeling like gas.
Yes.
So like just know that when you are having these symptoms and they're consistent, definitely go to your primary care doctor or urgent care center and get an EKG.
Okay.
Don't brush it off. And a lot of times, working in a heart clinic, patients will like, no, I never had a heart attack, or I never had any problems with my heart. And I said, have you ever had any times where you felt like you were like having a lot of indigestion, or a lot of gas in your chest? And they'd be like, yeah, because you can see
acute.
I'm sorry, you're right. You can see on the EKG that something happened to the heart at one point in time. So we can see that there was something that happened to the heart. So,
I'm sorry, guys. Can you have a heart attack and not know it?
yes. Yes, I had a patient that was actively having a heart attack while I was talking to him. And he was trying to do business and 2 cell phones, and I was like, sir, you got to put those cell phones away because you're having a heart attack like while I'm talking to you.
How did you know without it? Was he hooked
He
up?
was hooked up to the EKG machine.
Oh my gosh.
And so he was like, I feel fine. I said, there's no way. So, I was like, who do you want me to call? Because you're on your way to the emergency room, that type of thing. So it happens. We have patients who did not feel the symptoms or ignored the symptoms for so long that they've accepted them. And so sometimes just not being able to breathe is a key thing. If you get out your bed and you walk to the bathroom and you're struggling to breathe, you need to seek help.
that oxygen, that breath.
Right. You're struggling to breathe. Or if you're sitting down at home and you start seeing little floaters and you're looking around and you're batting your eyes and you're like, what are these things? That could be your blood pressure too high. Your blood pressure could be too high. And a lot of people ignore it, like, maybe because my vision is bad, or maybe because my vision is blurry.
Dang.
So having those floaters, or even if you don't have blurred vision from another eye issue and you're starting to, blink a lot and your eyes are starting to get more and more blurry, those are signs that either your blood pressure is elevated or something else could be going on. So don't ignore the small symptoms and signs.
Like they say, don't sweat the small stuff. Don't ignore the small stuff.
Don't ignore the small stuff. So like your chest pain, your shortness of breath, your lightheadedness, your dizziness, your numbness and tingling in your hands or your feet. Sometimes those are things that show inadequate blood flow or decreased blood flow.
See, I'm thinking it had to be the left hand for the thing. I didn't know it could be your right hand.
For women, it presents differently. They will have like chest pain going across to the right side. But if you have that traveling pain from your right shoulder to your fingertips on your left, or from your left up, like if you have that traveling pain on your left side, you more than likely are having a heart attack. I
don't want to have any kind of discomfort. I'm going to the doctor.
Right. So you want to make sure monitor those signs of discomfort. And sometimes a lot of patients don't want to go. They don't want to go to the hospital. They don't want to go to the doctor.
So what do they want to do? Die?
So a lot of times they don't want to go. But I tell you, it's better to be checked out than not to be checked out, you know. And so even for my elderly patients, you know, sometimes they just aggravated with having to leave their house, you know, a lot of times. So if you have that family member who is very disgruntled, that don't want to go anywhere, call the ambulance. Let them check them out. They have an EKG machine on their in their truck. And if there is something, they will say, hey, this patient, your family member needs to go to the emergency room. I know soon they're going to try to charge for that service. But right now, as I remember, or the last I checked, it's still a free service. So even if they don't take you to the hospital, they still can check you out. They can check your blood pressure. They can do a quick
And this
EKG.
is the fire department?
This the emergency medical services. So if you call 911, an ambulance can come.
But that costs a lot.
No, they cost if
you're traveling, if they transport you. Oh, so they can actually, okay.
So a lot of times people don't know that. But like I said, soon I think Fulton County's on their way to doing it. And I think DeKalb County eventually get on board, but they're going to start charging to come to your home to do an assessment. But for right now, charging your insurance, I should say. Right. But for right now, I don't think it's a charge. But just check with your insurance company and check with your local, your county as far as the emergency medical services if there's a charge. But for the last time I checked, there was no charge for them to come and do an assessment.
Ushica. Oh my gosh, guys. I love this show. Thank you so much for being here. When I tell you, you have taught me a lot. And I can't wait to watch this back with my husband and my children. Yes, because the knowledge you just passed on to me and my viewers, I appreciate it so much.
Why, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You got to come back again, but I just thank you. Yes.
Of course. But before we leave off, I just want to make sure that everyone understands your blood sugar levels has to be checked. Your cholesterol levels have to be checked.
Often? How often?
So your hemoglobin A1C can be checked every night. It checks. You can do it twice a year, but it checks for the last 90 days. So you can't just eat the perfect meals for the 2 weeks before you go to your doctor.
It think it's going to be okay.
It checks for the last 90 days. And then, managing your blood pressure, anything over 120 on the top number, anything over 80 on the bottom number is high. So some people are like, oh, it's only 130 or 140. If you're not taking medications, you've never been diagnosed with hypertensive or high blood pressure, then 120 over 80 or less is what you should be at. And then make sure your cholesterol level is checked. The good cholesterol, you want to keep it elevated above 60 by eating sockeye salmon, walnuts, avocados.
Sockeye salmon?
Yes. At least twice a week. Even mackerel is good. Having your omega-3s, fish oils if you want to, take a capsule. And then, making sure that LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, which is low, you want to keep that number low. And we like for that to be under 100. Unless you have been diagnosed with some type of a heart disease, sometimes it's less than 70, but you will find out from your primary care doctor or your cardiologist. But make sure your numbers are good. Don't allow someone to call your phone and say, oh, your numbers are good, have a good day, or your numbers are bad, have a good day. Ask them, what is my numbers and what should it be?
Okay, so I go to my chart every time I get a physical every single year. But of course, if anything come up in between, I'll go to the doctor and I can go on my chart and it'll show,
your numbers.
One good thing about it, it tells me that the scale of where it's supposed to be and where you are. And I thank God. Oh, he's so good. The only thing that in all of these season years that I've been here, I say seasons because I'm not saying I'm old, but the only thing, and it wasn't even high. It was like borderline, you're there, is the cholesterol. And I was like, oh, no more eggs, no more butter, no more, and I pull back. But yes, you are right. And I check, every time I leave the doctor and I do the mind chart, it tells you what's what.
What's what.
Yeah.
Which is good. So just know your numbers, manage your numbers, and ask questions.
Yes, and have a friend like Ushica so I can call it. He be like, something is going on, girl. You take your butt to the doctor right now.
Yes.
Yes. All jokes aside, guys, this information that she gave is so good. I'm so glad that you were here, and then once again, I thank you. And like she was saying, that the ambulance may be in your area, maybe not, but they can come and check your vital signs and do things for you. So utilize that if you can. Why don't you just, they can actually call somewhere and see if it's something you can use in,
your county.
In your county. As always, guys, feel the rumble and listen to the roar, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.